Alrighty, gamers and tamers, we got the sneak peek for next week's upcoming X-Men update, and we hit the nail on the head. A new era of mutant power approaches. The future is ours, Charles, not theirs. Or sorry, what does he say? We are the future, Charles, not them. Morph, Jubilee, Magneto, and Apocalypse, or Apocalypse. Apocalypse, I don't know how to pronounce that. Costumes inspired by Marvel Studios, Marvel Animation, whatever, X-Men 97. Very excited, ladies and gentlemen. Can you tell by the amount of mistakes I'm making in the intro? The scattered X-Men are rallying once again to stand against an ancient mutant. Check out the reunited X-Men as they band together to protect humanity, even those who hate and fear them. We will provide more information through the update details. So this is a big old sandwich sneak peek. Everybody's in this slideshow, and the slideshow is as follows. Let's take a look. The fade in, very cool. Then we get the individual intros here. We get some sound effects. This is good. This is good. This, you know, it feels a little bit floaty. It feels a little bit like they're, you know, in a vacuum, because the background, there's no background. It's just like fart clouds, like blue fart clouds, but that's okay. That's what most of my thumbnails look like anyways. So yeah, pretty good job by the sneak peek team. I do like the looks. I do like the fits. The only one I would not complain about, but I would say, listen, I think Magneto fans were eating really good in season 1. He was buff. He had the ripped outfit, you know, he had the chains. He was doing his best impression, right? He was doing his best impression. This one, season 2, is kind of, you know, it's like the boring uncle, right, who drinks a little bit too much. But anyways, it's okay. It's okay. Morph looks sick, I gotta say, with the vest and the bandana, no sleeves. Jubilee looks nice. I think she looks very, very good. And then, man, they knocked it out of the park with Apocalypse. I was predicting that they would choose this version of Apocalypse. Boys, we're getting fully modeled feet. For those of you that have an unhealthy attitude towards the lowest appendages, rejoice. Okay, rejoice, fellow foot lovers. I'm not a foot lover, not me. No, I'm just saying, if you are, then this is the update for you, because there's no shoes on Apocalypse, so you can see his grippers. That's all I'm saying. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Jubilee looks sick. Jubilee's obviously gonna get a tier 4. Apocalypse already tier 4. Magneto already tier 4. And then presumably Morph will be introduced as a new tier 4. Because, oh man, still get goosebumps seeing that intro with the lightning. That looks so sick. So yeah, that's very exciting. We'll talk about the characters in just a bit, but first we got to go over the live stream announcement. So they've already done the live stream announcement. They have the silhouettes here for Morph on the left, it looks like, and then Apocalypse on the right. And then the live stream, as usual, will be the day before the update, or the day before the patch notes, I guess, because the update's the next day technically. So yeah, this Monday, in a few days, in just like 3 days or 4 days or whatever, at 6 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be live here on YouTube reacting to all of the news. We have these 3 new uniforms, the 1 new character, Morph, plus the promised Shadowland upgrades and changes from the June update Shadowland announcement. So I also wanted to mention in the video, do not do Shadowland if you want to make sure that you can play the new Shadowland as soon as it comes out. Now, some people will say, oh, but Alex, I'm gonna miss my cosmic core energy. Sure, I guess. Listen, if you really want the cosmic core energy, the extra, like, whatever, 1,000 cosmic core energy, it's not that much. But if you really want the extra bit of cosmic core energy, or if you know you're not going to be able to play Shadowland in the last 2 days before the weekly reset, like you definitely can't because of your schedule, then sure, do it now. Otherwise, if you can wait, if you can stand to wait, I would wait, because chances are they're going to improve the rewards. They're going to improve, like, it's been a long time since they've reworked Shadowland. It's been at least like 3 years. So they're probably going to improve and change some of the daily rewards. We know that the daily progress as well, not daily progress, but sort of like the stuff that you can clear ticket is going up to 35. So again, they may change things around. They're probably going to keep the shop. They may add some items here, who knows? So I certainly wouldn't spend your tokens. There's really no reason to spend your tokens ahead of the update, because there's no way they're going to make things more expensive. They're only going to make things cheaper. And worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, you wait until Tuesday morning, the patch notes come out, you read the patch notes, or you watch my video reading them and reacting to them, and then you decide from there, right? If the patch notes say we're going to be, we're going to be nerfing the rewards from the Shadowland tokens, at that point, I'm going to go in the video and spend all my Shadowland tokens. But there's no way they're going to do that. There's a 99.9% chance, 99.999% chance that they're going to keep the rewards the same or improve them, right? They almost never nerf rewards. So, yeah, that's my suggestion for you guys for Shadowland. And then as far as the characters go, like, this is a pretty solid lineup. We got 2 blast types and a combat type, and we have a mixture of both PvE and PvP. I know some people were disappointed that we didn't see any of the super turbo marquee characters like Jean, Wolverine, etc. I think that's okay. On the other hand, I do think Jean will get something eventually, guys. I wouldn't worry about her. She's more popular, believe it or not, than the other characters that, she's more popular than all these characters, by the way. Like, if you guys don't know how popular Jean Grey is, she's insanely popular. And I don't just mean in the general sense. I mean in the MFF sense. There's a lot of people, and again, this is hard to sort of wrap your head around. It took me a while anyways. But there are a lot of people who don't read the comics, who don't really religiously watch the TV shows and movies. So they're not like hardcore Marvel fans. They don't read the comics, but they play MFF. And they've played MFF long enough to know that Jean Grey is insanely good, because she's been good for so long. Like, her reign of terror, or whatever you want to call it, her reign of power in Marvel Future Fight goes all the way back 10 years to 2016 when she came out. So anybody who's been playing this game as a turbo casual still can identify Jean as like, oh yeah, Jean's the GOAT. Like, she'll come back eventually. Yeah, Sentry, Null, whatever. Yeah, but Jean, it's Marvel Jean Grey fight, Like, people know that. People know that. And so they don't really need an X-Men update to just give her a uniform. They can just make some shit. They can just pull some shit out of their ass. Genuinely. Whereas these guys here, they're not popular. Like, they can't just throw together an update with Jubilee or even like Magneto. They're not that popular. They're genuinely not that popular compared to, Deadpool, Wolverine, and Jean. Like, those 3 are just insanely popular. They can come up anytime. It doesn't matter. And so I think it's okay. I do think, if I'm being honest, I do think Nightcrawler kind of gets the pipe here. I think they kind of, they should step up and do our boy, a solid. I also think we're missing the boat for a third time on Mr. Sinister. I know he doesn't seem to appear in season 2. They're not really doing the Madeline clone shit again. But again, like, when is this guy gonna get something else, And it would be nice for him to get a tier 4. However, that being said, I do think they chose a very good list of characters. Like, I genuinely do think they chose a very good list of characters. They're taking Magneto out of sort of semi-seasonal hell. It's a crystal wall. It's not a paywall, but it's still 4 crystals. It's a shame whoever bought him during the anniversary with a uniform ticket, that was not the play. That was not the play. Yeah, he's most certainly going to get upgraded. He might even replace both Gambit and Kid Omega, which would be crazy. He could even technically, Magneto could replace Zombie Doctor Strange. He's not here because I'm filtering by mutants, but Zombie Doctor Strange has been slipping for a while. Magneto might come in and just eat his lunch. So he could be extremely meta, Mr. Magneto. So that's exciting. Morph is kind of the coin flip here. I'll go over to Mystique because she's the best sort of facsimile for what Morph could look like. I think Morph makes sense as a speed type hero. He probably will be a support because that's what they've been doing lately to new characters that they've introduced. Look at Silver Samurai. Look at a lot of these other characters. They just come in first as supports, and then they sort of figure the rest out later. I think as well, not to glaze the devs too hard, but they did a good job with Silver Samurai. Like, he was good enough. He's good enough as a standalone character. He doesn't feel like a complete cuck when it comes to what he can do outside of being a support. And he's got a flexible enough support ability where he's not just for PvP or just for PvE. He can kind of do both. So I think the devs really hit the sweet spot with Silver Samurai. If they're going to make Morph a support, I hope that they go in the same direction and they don't just do something sloppy where they just give him like increased damage to villains and decreased damage received from villains, because this is just like so played out at this point. And you know, I feel like we need some more mutants that don't necessarily focus on villains only, that do both villains and heroes, so that there's a bit more sort of versatility in the support, because sometimes you have mutants attacking mutants in PvE content as well. So yeah, just something to think about. The other thing I wanted to point out, although I don't think it's going to happen, is Apocalypse World Boss Legend Plus. How sick would that be? We had Thanos come in for World Boss Legend Plus. How cool would it be if they updated the Apocalypse battle, the Apocalypse fight, with the new uniform, and you go back, like he takes you back to ancient Egypt, and there's like, you know, the pyramids and shit, and it's this version of him. That's maybe a missed opportunity. I don't want to speculate too hard on that or imagine it too much. I don't want to get my hopes up and get them dashed against the rocks here. But I do think that would be, I think it's a really cool idea, and it's maybe a missed opportunity. I don't know. It really depends what the devs have cooking as well. We don't know. They did say they are planning a new world boss this year, so we'll end up seeing what that is, and we can compare it to Apocalypse. But I will say that for World Boss Legend Plus, it would be nice for the people who need to farm feathers if there was a boss in the plus category that was a mutant. So currently, if you want to farm feathers and Emkron crystals, the only boss you can do it with in the World Boss Legend category, right, in the purple background, is Jean Grey, Dark Phoenix. Now, obviously, you can go here and you can farm feathers from a lot of these characters, like Cable. You can farm it from Apocalypse, etc. But nobody plays these bosses because the rewards are shit. There's no tier 4 materials. There's no Godstones. There's no elite gear, right? We know that. We know that already. So having a new world boss after Thanos, 11, so to speak, that would be giving out Phoenix Feathers and Emkron Crystals rather than the, Black Antimatter Chaos Norn Stones. That would be nice. That would be a nice one. So something for the devs, I think, to think about if they haven't already put that on their radar. It would be nice to have a bit more of a balance there. But yeah, otherwise, I think this is a pretty solid update. I'm excited to see what they do for Jubilee because it's her first time, I believe, getting a uniform. So this is a huge one. Like, this is huge. New character. Basically, Jubilee becomes a new character, right? It's just Apocalypse and Magneto who are looking at more incremental upgrades. But Jubilee is basically like, dude, she's from 2017 or 2018. She's ancient history. She's a few years younger than Singularity. But this is I see people like complaining about who didn't get a uniform. Bro, Jubilee's getting a uniform. It's like, oh my days. It's been time for her. So I'm very excited to see what they finally do for her. Hopefully it's enough. And then for Apocalypse, I'm interested. I'm very interested. Are they going to make him finally seriously good for PvP? You know, he should be competing, not necessarily toe-to-toe, but he should be closer to Madeline's level. He's a native tier 2, right? So we'll have to see what they do to him. They do need to increase his, like, if you want to get specific with his kit, they have to increase his survivability. He just doesn't heal enough. He should have auto healing because of the fact that he regenerates whenever he dies. Like, he can't die. So he should have auto healing. I think they can get rid of the buff, to be honest. They're probably not going to get rid of the buff, and I think because they gave him this stupid debuff cleanse, he's going to remain weaker to balance it, to offset it, because it's just too powerful to do it, to stack everything, and you can kind of see that with Strife. But I think they need to give him auto healing or just a better heal, a more consistent heal, because it's just not good enough. Like, see, the main issue is his iframe ignore skill that has penetration. First of all, it's only 40% penetration, which is not very high. right? Cable has double the penetration on his passive. So that's the first thing. He doesn't have very high penetration. And then his heal is on a different skill. It's over here on his 5th skill with a 30% heal. So they should probably keep this 30% heal, but then they should add another 30% heal here, or maybe like a 20% heal over 2 seconds. So like a 40% heal over 2 seconds, 20% ticking every other second. Or they should give him like a 4 or 5% auto heal on top of that, and then tweak his damage a little bit. I think that could be enough, because he does stack a lot of debuffs. He does stack a lot of large AoE attacks with his kit, and that is good, sort of like Madeline. But then, of course, instead of the revive, Madeline has the immortality, which allows her to just keep ticking. And then, of course, Madeline has a much better heal attached to her 3rd skill with the 25% and the debuff cleanse. So yeah, if they sort of model him after Strife / Madeline, I think that should be good. Again, he's also got the 30% heal with the accumulation on his Iframe Ignore skill counterattack. Kind of a big deal here, guys. And remember, his passive, 80% chance to penetrate. So Apocalypse having half the chance of Strife to penetrate on one skill versus he has the chance to penetrate on all skills. Kind of bullshit, right? I know it's a seasonal uniform, but it's kind of bullshit. Anyways, boys, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Who are you most excited for? Also, remember, the mid-month is not going to be seasonals yet. The mid-month for seasonals is in July, August. It's probably going to be the mid-month for Brand New Day. So we could still see, unless they announce in the patch notes on Tuesday, unless they announce the uniform collection, we could still see more mutants in the mid-month. So we could see a Psylocke to reference the Otherworld Battle icon. We could still see Nightcrawler. We could still see Exodus. We could still see a lot of characters. You know who we couldn't still see, though? Beast. Anyways, boys, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching the video. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.